Now we know all else is not equal. Many financial institutions, like banks, are doing the opposite. They are lending money into existence and they are buying US Treasuries. But the United States is not the only player in town here. We are also going to need to look at the other two very large players, China, Japan. China and Japan have both been selling US Treasuries at near record paces. This is a big deal because China and Japan are the biggest foreign holders of US Treasuries. Now, according to the US Treasury's internal data, Japan and China, as of November of 2024, are still the largest foreign holders of US Treasuries. But if they continue selling, they could lose that top spot soon, considering the UK is not far behind China. So China, Japan, and the Fed are all actively decreasing their exposure to US Treasuries, with China about to drop below the UK in terms of the total Treasuries it holds. Now, you might look at how many Treasuries the Fed owns, and just by looking at their total balance sheet, you might assume that they have a very large, historically speaking, balance of US Treasuries. But if instead we look at this as a percent of the total debt that is available, we can see that the Federal Reserve's holding of US Treasuries is back down to very close to average levels. The Fed owns about 15% of the US government's debt that is held by the public. And while that percentage has been pretty volatile, ranging from 7% up to 25% over the last 2 decades, being around 15% where it is right now is much closer to historical norms going back to 2003. This is one of the reasons why bond yields have continued to rise over the past few years, because US Treasuries are being sold by everyone to a much larger degree than they are being purchased. We are seeing US Treasuries be actively replaced around the world, especially on central bank balance sheets, and it is being replaced by gold.